You don't know how to get motivated for self-love. You find it hard to get to loving yourself. You don't know how to stop making excuses. You don't know how to live your life and put yourself as your number one priority. You don't know how to become the best version of yourself. By the end of this video, you will get the best tips for how to be motivated for self-love, how to find and gain the right motivation for loving yourself. You will get to know more about what I did to gain more motivation for loving myself and how I became motivated to love myself. So you'll never have to wonder how to continue, and you never get discouraged from loving yourself. You will keep going and keep loving yourself for as long as you live. I've done it, I've tried it, and so I'm sure that you can do it too. Let's get into it. For the best self-love and relationship advice, subscribe to my channel and hit the bell to be notified when I post a video every Saturday. So first of all, my biggest motivation for loving myself came when I knew that I was living my life the way that I could not continue living it any longer. I was so sick and tired of how I used to feel, and the general dissatisfaction with myself mirrored in all of my relationships and the way that I lived my life. So the biggest shift came to me where it hit me that if I was going to continue living the way I lived and feeling the way I felt, I'm going to end up very unhappy. And it was just a general sense that I could not continue living my life the same way any longer. So I had to make a change, or else I would have ended up very badly. How I made it was that I personally myself rediscovered a hobby that I used to do as a child. I enrolled in an NLP practitioner course, and I had help from one of Teal Swan's completion process practitioners, which eventually raised my vibration to a point where I manifested into my life a secure relationship. I got to do what I love, and I have my own place to live. So the very first thing that I did to gain more motivation for self-love was that I found a role model. And at the time, this was a role model for me. But it doesn't have to be just a role model. It can be a coach, a mentor, professional, a medical professional. It can be a person who you have by your side, who you can trust and whose beliefs you can identify with, whom you can look up to for guidance, and whom you fully trust and believe. So I found a role model, and this was a person whose teachings I started to follow, implement, and keep up with to grow my self-love. And because there was no possibility for me to work with her personally, I enrolled in her self-love course, and this way I was able to commit to self-love. I was also part of her Facebook community, which allowed me to feel like I'm not alone and share my story and wins with others. So I highly recommend that you check out my free self-love and relationship intensive by clicking the link in the description. And feel free to reach out and find if we're a good fit to work more closely on self-love. And be sure that you can get the best guidance and support on your self-love journey. What I did next was that I rediscovered my passion for dancing by enrolling in a folklore dance group, and I pursued it. This covered my need for movement or exercise, which I love, and also my need for socializing and friendships. This way I feel like I'm part of a team, and I love that I'm sustaining my country's cultural heritage. So what are the things that make you feel happy, fulfilled and inspired? Is it singing, cooking, dancing, writing, or drawing? You need to keep your spark alive and your enthusiasm and passion burning in your life, because your passions are the core of your being, the essence of your happiness. So you need to say yes to them. The third thing that I did to keep myself motivated was when I've written to myself from the perspective of the version of myself who already loves herself. I have imagined myself as her and spoke to myself loving and encouraging words as if I already loved myself. Doing this has given me an idea and a feeling of what it would feel like when I love myself. With this, I strive to become the version of myself who loves herself every day. If you would like to find out more about the exact process that I followed to do just this, click on the icon in the top left corner of this video or on the link in the description. When I started learning self-love, I was certainly not loving myself fully yet. I couldn't even understand or imagine the kind of person I needed to be or how I should love myself. But I knew that if I study and I practice and I keep on doing it, I'm certainly going to make it, and there will be huge benefits for me. Above all else, it was a commitment to my own happiness and an understanding that self-love is a lifelong process. It won't take forever, though, to get to a better place. One of the best realizations for me when it comes to having the motivation for self-love were that I needed to have a relationship with myself. And for that relationship to be good, I needed to maintain it with love. Meaning that I needed to take the time to give love to myself, because what I was used to was giving all of my love to my partner and others. If you want more information on exactly how to do this, click on the icon in the top right hand corner of this video or on the link to the video in the description. The video is called Self-Love Journey, Filling Yourself Up. The other thing that I did was that I stopped putting any deadlines or time frames for how long it was going to take me to learn how to love myself. I just love myself right there and then, in the present moment. Because when you love someone, you're not limited by the thought of or by questioning, how long am I going to love them? So I didn't put that limit on myself either. And just generally, to keep myself motivated for self-love, I know that I'm the one who's in charge of my decisions every day. And I remind myself that I'm the one who has the decision, whom and how I'm going to spend my time with and for how long. And I'm the one who decides what I'm going to do. And I'm the one who decides for myself what I'm going to do with my time. Others don't decide for me. So in order for me to do that, I need to know what's best for me and what's self-loving for me, and do just that. Which of course involves saying no to the people, places, things and circumstances that are not in line with what's best for me. And this is not selfish. This is how we have responsibility for ourselves and how we keep our own power. This is how we stay true to ourselves and avoid doing things that don't feel good or joyful for us. The main motivation for self-love came when I made a conscious choice and decision. So it was not so much knowing more about self-love, than it was claiming and committing to my own feelings, in particular to my own feelings of happiness. I decided with full commitment and resolve that what's going to matter the most to me was my own feelings of happiness. I decided with full commitment and resolve that what was going to matter the most to me was how I feel. It was the thing that I cared the most about, and I made it the goal for me. I set as my goal being happy. In addition to that, I also made it my #1 priority in life. And watch my next week's video where I will talk more about how to make yourself a priority. For the best of self-love and relationship advice, subscribe to my channel and hit the bell to be notified when I post a video every Saturday. Why do we need to make our feelings and happiness our number one priority? It is because all motivation, everything stems from us believing that after we've done that, we're going to feel better and therefore happy. I have learned this from Teal Swan and her channel. I highly recommend following and learning from Teal Swan's teachings. Motivation is rooted in internal gratification. We also need to make how we feel and make happiness our goal in our life and our first priority, because how else are we going to recognize whether we're truly feeling happy in each moment? We're only going to be able to recognize that if we know how we feel. Everyone wants to feel happy, and when you know that at the end of the day what you're looking for is happiness, then whatever you think that will bring you that happiness, why not just directly go for that feeling of happiness? Whatever it may be or whatever form it might have. What feels like happiness for you individually? What makes you feel good about yourself? If you were to put your happiness above all else, how would your life change? Would you still be living in that place? Would you still be working at that place? Would you still be with that person? It takes bravery to prioritize your own enjoyment from doing things, rather than prioritize what you will get out of doing them. And your life might change as a result. But in the end, you will have found the most natural motivation for self-love and for life itself, which will in turn fuel you and motivate you further. It will propel you to more self-love, happiness and purpose. Check out the video on practical steps to follow your own feeling of happiness and why it is important for increasing your motivation by clicking the icon in the top right hand corner of this video or on the link to this video in the description. And comment below what feels like happiness for you personally. Let me know in the comments below. Admit to yourself that you deserve love and you deserve your own self-love. And instead of focusing only on meeting other people's needs, take the time to make yourself happy and content. You'll find the exact steps on how to rediscover that you deserve your own love by clicking the icon in the top right hand corner of this video or the link in the description. The video is called Self-Love Deserving, and you'll also find the information on how to challenge yourself to meet your own needs by clicking also on the icon in the top right hand corner of this video or on the link in the description. Now you've heard how to find the motivation to love yourself, how to keep loving yourself, how to stop making excuses and get motivated to become the most self-loving version of yourself, and how to live your own priority. If you'd like to find out more about self-love and in particular more about motivation for self-love and how to prioritize your own feeling of happiness, then check out step 2 in my self-love guide, Happiness. Download the guide by clicking the link in the description. If you'd like to connect with me further, find out if we're a good fit to work more closely on self-love, or just share your thoughts or feelings with me, then go to the link in the description and directly book a call. This call is absolutely free and I'll be so happy to connect with you and get to know you more. Make sure you check out more videos on how to love yourself. If you like this video, hit the like button, be sure to subscribe and share it with your friends. And I also want you to know that I appreciate you, and it's been a pleasure to share my thoughts on how to find motivation for self-love, and I can't wait to see how you are going to start getting more driven, more focused and motivated for self-love. I hope you have a good week and a week full of self-love, and I'll see you in the next video.